Let's talk about some roster transactions the Chiefs made today, glance at an updated injury report featuring a potentially scary one, look at some of the biggest defensive highlights from last week's game against the Commanders, and much freaking more. But first, how about those? What's up, guys? My name is Cole, aka the Red Edge, Arrowhead Sledge, Jasper Bearded, Mountain-Eating, Football-Spiting Man, or sometimes simply known as everybody's favorite NFL Gingivitis. And I do daily news about the Kansas City Chiefs, so make sure to sub if you're new for some grade A bearded Chiefs content and merch. Shameless plug to the merch. Check it out in the store if you're interested. All kinds of stuff on there. Hit that like button if you, like me, are excited for Furious George Karlaftis and his new nickname. And let's get into this video, starting with some injury updates, as both defensive tackle Chris Jones and wide receiver Mecole Hardman return to Monday's practice, which is today when I filmed, but it's like almost 10 p.m., so I might not get this video out a little bit later. I'm sorry, I'm doing my best. But anyway, they worked out today. Monday's practice in some capacity, though I don't think they fully participated. It just seems like the back spasm of Chris Jones and the groin spasm of Mecole Hardman are not that bad. As for the other injuries, Matt Derrick tweeted this out today. Chiefs players who won't practice today are wide receiver Juju Smith-Schuster due to his knee, cornerback Rashad Fenton due to the groin injury that he sustained during the Washington Commanders game. Sorry, not a spasm. Defensive end Carlos Dunlap. Did you hear me? Defensive end Carlos Dunlap, who is wrestling with an Achilles injury. What? Yes, you heard that right. That's why he didn't suit up in Saturday's game and also why he did not practice today. Dude, what are we talking about here with Dunlap? He just got on the team. Hopefully it's something minor because, good Lord, we need this man, and an Achilles injury never sounds good. Anyway, a couple others mentioned are running back Derek Gore due to a thumb injury he sustained, I guess, in the game against the Commanders, tight end Blake Bell due to the hip flexor from the game against the Bears, and right tackle Lucas Niang, knee on the PUP list. No news there. So yeah, lots to monitor with these injuries. I'll keep you updated as they progress. There is also some interesting news that dropped today from Field Yates on Twitter. Here's the scoop. Tight end Kendall Blanton got unexpectedly released from the St. Louis Rams on Saturday. This man was a contributor on the Rams offense in their Super Bowl run, catching 5 passes for 57 yards in the NFC Championship game, and was competing for the Rams' number 2 tight end spot, which made his release on Saturday very surprising. Anyway, the point of this is that he found a team very shortly after being released, being claimed off of waivers by the Washington Redbeards, the team we just spanked. It was just a preseason game. Nobody cares. Anyway, this is where things get a bit interesting, as Field Yates tweeted this out earlier this morning. He said, the Chiefs were another team to put in a waiver claim on new Commanders tight end Kendall Blanton, who went to Washington due to higher waiver priority per source. It was a near homecoming, as Blanton is from the Kansas City area and played his college ball at Missouri. So what that's saying to me is the Chiefs were looking to potentially snag some nice tight end depth, especially with Blake Bell out due to the hip injury, and Matt Bushman is another tight end who didn't suit up for the Commanders game, although as of recording this video right now, I still have no idea why that is. So the Chiefs are essentially down 2 tight ends at the moment, and saw Jody Fortson playing in all 4 quarters of last weekend's game, and I'm pretty sure they were like, yo, we could really use some depth, and tried to snag this man, Kendall Blanton, but Washington had higher priority on the waiver wire, and therefore, boom, this man is now with the Redbeards. So that's sad, but at the same time, I'm also glad that the Chiefs do not suck, because if they did, they would have been able to claim Kendall Blanton, but since the Commanders are a horrible team, they got first dibs, so enjoy. Now, while the Chiefs were unsuccessful with that addition to the roster, they were successful in some subtractions to the roster today. Matt Derrick tweeted this out. Monday's practice just concluded for Chiefs, and the club waived 3 players: cornerback Brandon Dandridge, safety Nasir Greer, and offensive lineman David Steinmetz. The roster is at 82 and needs to be at 80 before 3 p.m. Central Time Tuesday. So there you go. None of these are surprising to me and to this channel. Dandridge has been struggling, and I mentioned in a video within the last handful of days that I don't think Nasir Greer is making the roster. So yeah, the Chiefs have until tomorrow to waive a couple more. Goodbye. We'll find out very soon who they will be. From here, I want to do an overview look of the defense and note some standouts from Saturday's game against the Commanders. Yesterday, or this morning, I guess, is when I recorded this video, I dropped a video highlighting the offense. Well, now it's the defense's turn, with the first being Nick Bolton. In the first quarter alone, this man had 3 tackles and a pass breakup. Basically, on defense, it's Nick Bolton's season And y'all better get used to it. One tackle included this play here that led to a big T4L early in the game. This happened so often that it's not even surprising to me anymore. And shortly after that, Bolton had a nice pass breakup on a 3rd and 5 that you can see right here. Bolton said in a presser a while back that he has really been working on his pass protection aspect of football, and well, it looks like it's working. So nice freaking job, Nick freaking Bolton. L'Jarius Sneed had excellent coverage on a big 3rd down play that I found worth highlighting right here. Very solid coverage by Sneed on this one, you little CB1U. And as far as the defensive line was concerned, specifically with the first team offense, they seemed to struggle a bit without Chris Jones. I know Carlos Dunlap wasn't active either, so that could have played a role as well, though I don't think he was really taking reps with the first team in his game against the Bears. In spite of that, though, a bright spot on the line was the rookie, Furious George Karlaftis, who had a huge sack on a 3rd and 10 as he was able to somehow beat a double team by the Commanders starters. Crazy. George has 0 chill and 0 quit. Only knows go, go, go. It's also worth noting that his celebration game has definitely improved, so nice work there, George, though Coach Reid spoke about George in a recent presser and still didn't seem too terribly impressed with his sack celebration.
Yeah, George is 100 miles an hour all the time, and I appreciate that, the effort. He'll keep getting better with technique and after he gets a feel on how these offensive linemen play him. But he's a talented kid, smart, wants to be good. So I like the celebration dance.
It was okay, I guess. Well, y'all can decide if it was better or not, and hopefully he comes up with his own signature sack celebration one day soon, because he's about to be getting a lot of them. And since we're on the subject of the D-line, another standout player to me in this game was Colin Saunders. He had 2 tackles, with one being a tackle for loss, and also an awesome sack in which he blasted through the center of the line and threw that man right to the freaking ground. He also was quick to the QB on a couple of other plays, including this play here, in which he got falsely flagged for roughing the passer, those lying little zebra-striped pansies, resulting in a 1st down. But what also happened on this play was that Deon Bush nearly killed number 89. He was hit so hard that he actually had to leave the play and call his mommy, but she must have given him some encouraging words, because 2 plays later, the same man scored a touchdown on the Chiefs with the Caprio Boodle in coverage. Tough play here for Boodle. I feel like it was just a great throw and a nice snag. Not too much Boodle could do there. And let's stay on cornerbacks here for a bit, because there's several to talk about. The next up being Joshua Williams, who nearly had an interception here on this play, in which I think the Commanders' 18th string QB from the Walmart parking lot thought he was playing on the Chiefs for a moment and tried to actually throw Williams the ball, and the receiver turned into the cornerback. Williams is doing a good job overall, yes, but did miss this pretty big tackle here near the end of the 2nd quarter. Next time, Joshua, next time. Another DB who got smoked like a cigar on a play was Zane Anderson here, missing this tackle that was pretty freaking ugly if we're going to be honest, leading to a decent gain. Meanwhile, the Chiefs' 7th round pick, cornerback Jalen Watson, keeps impressing me in a lot of his reps. He plays hard and tackles harder, like this play you're seeing here, for example. He's definitely not afraid to put his body on the line. He also kept very tight coverage in the red zone here on this play, though I'm not 100% sure that was a catchable ball. Either way, he made it very hard for this man to come down with it. And then lastly, y'all got to see this play here, because outside of maybe the Karlaftis sack and Sneed's batted down pass, this one may be the next best defensive play of the day, in my bearded opinion. He stopped this bubble screen using his body to tackle the receiver because the other man was holding his arms. I mean, what? Look at this play. Incredible stop by Jalen Watson. Coach Spags seems high, not on paraphernalia, but on both Williams and Watson, and said they will both be called on to step up, especially considering Rashad Fenton is once again out due to injury.
Again, fair to say that Joshua Williams might be the next man
Well,
up.
Josh and Jalen, there's going to have to be somebody that's going to step. We're going to have dings and bumps and bruises along the way, and guys are going to have to step up. We may move some things around depending on how the injuries fall, but with Rashad, that was sad because he missed all, so you get a little nick, but we're going to be careful with it and hopefully get him back soon. But right now, I think Jalen and Joshua would take the bulk of his reps.
Trent McDuffie is another guy who has been playing well, although he's been quote-unquote quiet. But if you look at his 14 coverage snaps this preseason so far, he's only been targeted twice, allowing 1 reception for 5 yards and an NFL passer rating of 56.3 when thrown against him. Pretty freaking good, if you ask me. The last cornerback I want to mention is Chris Lamons. This is a guy who was fighting both a court case and for a spot on the roster. Talk about multitasking. But he did happen to have a nice couple of standout plays, one being a very nice PBU in which he swatted the ball away on a deep pass, and then he pretty much sealed the game on this play here, taking advantage of some random miscommunication from the eighth stringers with a nice interception. Dave Toub himself seems very high on Lamons and seems like he would really like him around for special teams usage.
Yeah, he's solid. I mean, you can see him. He's always the first in on kickoff. He's the first in on. He's our best gunner. You know, he's a good player. He's trying to establish himself on defense, and he did a good job in that game. They played him a lot more, and he showed up a little bit, so that was good to see. It goes hand in hand. It's not just, you know, we don't have just special teams guys, you know, and they have to be able to play offense and defense. So it's good to see a player that I like, Lamons, doing well on defense.
Toub then said Lamons is someone he could definitely see sneaking onto the roster, and honestly, I agree. So we shall see if Lamons indeed makes one of the final cornerback spots here very soon. The cut down to 53 is in approximately a week. So a lot's going to happen within these next 7 days. Some other players that I want to shout out quickly are linebacker Darius Harris for this very nice tackle for loss. Another linebacker, Leo Chanel, who makes a very nice tackle here. Extremely nice tackle, if we're going to be honest. And then on the next clip, he sees it's a run, then springs forth, telling number 60 to move like Ludacris as he stops 41 behind the line of scrimmage. An incredible play by Chanel, and nothing new. I'm excited to see this man out on the field this season. Safety Brian Cook made an extremely nice tackle off the edge here, resulting in another T4L. Defensive end Joshua Kando had a couple passes he tipped at the line of scrimmage, with the first him using his face. And then the next time he was like, nah, I'm not using my face, I'll use my hand. Malik Herring was next after he could be seen ripping right by 67 to get pressure on the QB. A very quick display of athleticism by Herring. And while Herring couldn't get to the QB for a sack, have no fear, because Azur Kamara was next, finishing the mission and bringing this man down. So there you go. Slowly but surely, Coach Spags is putting together this defense like an ever-evolving puzzle, though he did say that it is going to take some time to get the kinks worked out, and that's even with the roster down to 53.
I think you spend, or at least I do, you spend the first quarter of the season, so 4 games. Not exactly a quarter anymore, is it? But figuring out what you have, who you are, and what you're going to do. Because you can't always get it all figured out going against one type of offense. And you got some figuring out to do. We got new guys that we're not really sure where their strengths and weaknesses are, and we're always trying to figure that out.
So yeah, it's going to take some time, but the first team defense in particular has played well the past 2 games, allowing Goose Eggs 0 points on the series that they did play against both the Bears and the Commanders. And overall, safety Justin Reid is happy with the way the defense is shaping up and is confident that it's only up from here.
Yeah, the confidence is there. You look at the first 2 halves of both the Chicago game and of the Washington game. I mean, they look damn near identical. The offense goes and scores on the first drive. Defense holds them to a big egg on the scoreboard, you know. And that's what we wanted to execute out of our first teams, to go out there. Game plan is simple. We should be able to execute. And I think we did a good job of that. So that's building some momentum going into the season. We just got to make sure we continue to do that when the games count.
Well, I like that, Justin Reid, and admire your confidence and your hair, because I have none. So what do you guys think about all of this? Who are some of your defensive standouts from the Commanders game? What about players you think did not play a great game and are potentially in trouble of getting removed from the roster, maybe by tomorrow, but especially next week when they cut down to 53. Definitely let me know in the comments down below. We can fight about it down there per usual. Trust me, I'm here for all the freaking smoke. Make sure to leave a super thanks or bearded comment to potentially be featured in an upcoming vid. Sub for more pristine content like this, and check out this video here, pew pew, which is a new Fortnite trailer, stay with me, featuring Patrick Mahomes. That's right, you can play Fortnite as Patrick Mahomes now. And until next time, let's go. Let's freaking go. How about those?